She's got it.
That's right.
Yeah. Get with the program, Roy Orbison. She's got it. And the she in question this morning is Ainul Razib. She's a coder, influencer, and advocate for women in tech, here to chat about her journey as a coder in the lead up to International Women's Day. Welcome, Ain.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me. I'm so excited to be here.
Hey,
my first on-site interview.
Really? Because you've got a hugely popular TikTok channel called Ain Loves Code with over 60,000 followers. That's mind-blowing. Love that. So, Ain, tell us about how you first began your journey into coding in the first place.
Right, yeah. When it comes to my coding journey, right, I think in the past, I always jumped straight into, I first started learning how to code when I was writing a blog. And there was an option to write the HTML code. So I was like, that's really cool. But now that I think about it, my exposure to coding is a lot earlier. It's like since I was in primary school, playing dress-up games.
It's true.
Yes, the thing about
the action of coding.
Yes, the thing about having that coding interest, having the possibility that you can learn to code and build stuff is really exposure, right? And dress up games, playing video games, seeing my brothers, know how to like add cheat codes to their games, right? So it's like these are small things that it didn't immediately occur to me that is part of my coding journey, but because I see these things happening, I know what's possible. So that really like helped me narrow down on, I want to do coding, I want to do something cool.
Yeah. It opens up a whole new world, doesn't it?
Exactly.
It's like learning a new skill and a language all at the same time.
Yes.
I mean, I see the coding stuff on my blog and I'm like, what? I just shut down. I don't know what to do.
But you bring up a really good point, Ain, that the idea of coding is something that we actually do in our day-to-day lives, in our interactions and stuff like that. If you break it down to the most basic level, right? And I do find that, Shehzad?
Yeah, I mean, when you think of coding and the tech industry, it tends to be very, very male-dominated, doesn't it? And as soon as I said that, you were like, yeah, that's true. So what attracted you to that tech industry, and what are some of the challenges you faced?
Honestly, me staying interested in tech, a big part of it, and actually studying information systems in university at SUTD, all of those, I wouldn't have gone that far if it wasn't for my parents. My parents, basically, they had the general careers that they wanted me to do, like every Asian parent, right? Become a doctor, engineer, or lawyer. But when they saw that I was, I really wanted to learn about coding and really wanted to learn information systems, they didn't know anything about what I'm doing. They still don't know what I'm doing now, but what they wanted to drill into me and my siblings is, if you really believe that you want to do this professionally, work doubly hard, and they will support me as much as they can. And just go for it, just try, as my mom would say. And thankfully it's worked out so far. I went for an information systems degree at CTD, graduated. Currently I'm working my second job as a back-end developer. So yeah, it's a lot of like different experiences that it's like sometimes I will like think back and I will still be like, oh my gosh, this is like crazy.
For sure. Oh my gosh, so much to talk about, but we're going to head on to our Facebook Live. Come and join us, facebook.com/1FM913 as we chat more with Ain. Good morning, everyone. Hey, how are you doing? And of course, we welcome into our studio Ainul Razib. She is a coder, influencer, and advocate for women in tech. And we're going to lead off with Shehzad's question. We asked about...
Yeah, we were just talking about how in the industry that you're in, it's obviously very male-dominated, and you said you did a degree in SUTD. I mean, in that class, how many women were there, for example? Do you remember? It must have been a very small percentage. Or was that just a misconception that people have?
Right. So, my classes were usually like 40 to 50 students. There were a handful of women there, definitely. But yes, still in a minority. But I think what helped me is that even my male classmates, they were pretty chill. They didn't like treat me differently in my face.
Right.
So But that could just be me. But yeah, I think in that space, everyone wanted to learn. Everyone wanted to do their best. Wanted to build projects, graduate with a job, hopefully. So there was the challenge of lack of representation, a lot of imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
But thankfully, I had a lot of supportive classmates, professors, the people that I network with who are working in tech. So yeah, it's going good. It's really helpful.
What about the challenges that you faced in the professional side of things once you started working?
So when it comes to work, right, I guess there's two ways to look at it. For my my real job, I guess, as a software developer, I did feel a bit of pressure, not because of my workspace, of my workplace, but it was really being seen as someone who isn't usually a developer, right? Like, come on, you guys can also take a look at me. I'm wearing a headscarf. I wear long dresses, so I don't exactly portray the typical image.
Okay,
Of
are
a
you still
developer.
getting looks? People looking at you differently when they first meet you.
No, but I think I guess one funny thing is that on one of my first days at work, right?
Yeah.
I came into work. I sat down at the table, and to be fair, I think they were shifting. They were shifting the tables, right? So after lunchtime, I pinged someone from the team because we are all connected, online, but
Yeah.
in person is a bit different.
Yeah.
So one day I was like, oh wait, you're in the office, where are you?
Oh.
No, but it's not bad. When they realized that one of them realized that I was in the office, they essentially picked me up and was like, hey, let me introduce you, move all your stuff down to where we actually
nice.
move. Yeah. And the funny thing to me, I think I still think it's funny. Is that they are like, oh, I thought you were in marketing, because again, they didn't see me as a developer, and I think I'm one of the few developers or coders on the team.
Sure.
So yeah, to me, I didn't immediately click. It didn't immediately click to me that, oh, that's something shameful or something that isn't what most people will experience, because I understood the image. But the way I was still able to be positive is that I've worked this hard. I got into this role.
Sure.
So
You deserve to be there.
I deserve to be
Earn
there.
your place.
Yeah.
And I have so much more to show for, and this is just my first day. Why would I stress
Right.
myself over
Right.
that
Yeah.
at the
Correct.
moment?
Okay, I think it's really first day, they haven't
Yes,
met you
yes.
yet.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but there is definitely still a point about representation and diversity, and it's a problem that a lot of women in STEM, not just women in tech, experience, where they constantly have to be taught on their game. They have to constantly
Right.
prove to the people around them that yes, I am a developer. Yes,
Right.
I have the skills and experience for the job.
Right.
But
Focus on that, right?
yes, to focus, ideally focus on that. But let's face it, that women and minority women especially, we experience higher levels of imposter syndrome compared to people who are not.
Yes.
And a big reason for that is because we don't see people like us in the spaces that we usually work in. Like for me, I haven't seen another female developer in the past few months at my company.
Sure.
And without the right support networks, it would be very difficult for you to get mentorship and guidance and think that, oh, I need to advocate for myself. I need to ask for growth opportunities.
Yes.
And the reason why I know this is because I was able to I had the bravery to ask my manager, what do I need to do?
You're very proactive.
Yes, I need to be proactive. And that's the tricky thing. We had to be doubly proactive when we are minority women.
Yep.
Because nobody is going to guide us through. And I wrote this in an article before, the blog post, that women, minority women,
Yeah.
we don't have time to be afraid or shy about growth opportunities. We have to be the ones
Wow.
teaching ourselves because
Yeah.
there isn't a lot of us in the space.
Yeah.
So we have to teach ourselves as well as teach other people when they come in. So I feel that that's an important point.
Yeah.
You know what? While you are still the only female developer in your company, you need to add that on your name card.
But not the only developer in the company, but one of the few.
One of the few. Then you put there,
Yes,
I'm
'cause-
one of the
because,
leading the few.
My current company, there's different teams. So yeah, teams.
What kind of support would you like to see in place so that other women coming after you can ease into their position a lot easier?
I feel like there isn't an easy answer. That's the thing. Ideally, what a lot of companies talk about is, we have employee resource groups, and some of them, organize women-only events, hiring events or networking events. But the truth is, there are so many other commitments that women have beyond work, right?
Yeah.
So, for example, one of the criticisms about why women in male-dominated fields don't get paid as much is because, for example, a married woman will also be a mother. So when their child gets sick or when their child has something to do in school, who is the default person that has to juggle and take care of that? It's usually the mother. So so the efforts to make it easier for women to thrive in the workplace isn't just getting them into the industry and supporting them in the industry, but it's also helping them in other areas
of their lives.
Yes, other areas of their lives where they are seen as the default compared to, let's say, male employees in the same position.
That's a really, really good point. And I think that's very practical, very realistic. And I think if they really look into it in the manner you suggested, I think we could be able to solve some world problems here.
That's why I think recently there's been some announcements about increasing paternity leave, which to me I feel as on the surface, because I'm not married yet, is that it also gives fathers a bigger opportunity to be involved in raising the children other than just being the cool guy. And also gives the option for women to be able to pursue their career longer and more, rather than just stay at home, so to speak.
That is very, very true. Now we are going to head back on air and chat more with Ain, especially about creating your TikTok channel. 75,000 over followers.
Wow.
Woo-wee. I do believe she's
Can we
even
borrow
filming
some?
live at this moment. Can we borrow some?
some?
So we're going to chat
I'll post
about
this.
that, why you started it, the challenges you faced when you started it. Come and hear all about it on the Brightside.
Diddy there with I'll Be Missing You. How I feel about my wife right now, who's not in Singapore, and leaving me to the parental duties, as Ain was talking about
I can
earlier.
feel the stress coming from you, just emanating from your pores, Shehzad.
Parenting, I have to
my
actually be a
goodness.
dad right now.
All
Oh
right.
gosh, very difficult.
You've always been a dad, but it's sort of like
Now I have to take some responsibilities.
Yeah.
Look, we were just talking about some of the challenges that you've faced at work, but you've overcome them, and you're thriving to the point now where you're now an influencer on TikTok with Ain Loves Code. So, what was the inspiration behind creating that, and how do you see it contributing towards tech and making it more accessible for women?
Right, I feel it started when I was in university. I guess the journey of becoming a community advocate, right? In university, I knew I was going into tech. I would be going into tech without any networks, right? And I'm like, no, I can't do that. I need to network. Because I wanted to graduate with a job offer and not have to worry about finding a job offer, which worked out for me because I graduated during the pandemic. So, And when I was, trying to find ways to network, I realized, there is in the US, for example, in the US, the UK, Canada, there are female tech influencers. But Southeast Asia, Singapore, there's very few. Singapore, I haven't met another content creator that makes the same type of content as I do, talking about coding careers. And I realized, and I mean, I feel I had a phase where I was like, why is no one making content about this?
Sure.
And then at some point, I think I went for an event in school where the Codec project, the founder of the Codec project, Nurul Hussein, was sharing her journey trying to create a community organization to help minority women get into tech. And I was like, wait, I can do that. I can make like a social media account and share my journey. Wasn't expecting it to go viral or whatever. No, I just wanted to share my journey.
Right.
But I think during the pandemic, everyone was on TikTok, so I decided to share more content on TikTok, which makes it a lot more easier, right, to make content, at least for me, compared to other social media platforms. And I started getting for the first time, I started getting like DMs and comments being like, oh, this is you're so cool. I'm the first person that they ever saw. I'm the first person who is a woman in tech, and they didn't know there was no one else making the kind of content I do and looking the same as I do.
So it's kind of like you felt there was no one doing it, and you know what? Other people also felt that way too. So I think they really resonated with your TikTok channel.
Yes.
Wow,
Yeah,
you're
thankfully it worked out.
blazing the trail in the tech space. That's pretty amazing. With this year's IWD theme, Inspire Inclusion, I'm just wondering, who are the women in tech that you look up to and why?
Oh gosh, there's too many. I guess outside of Singapore, there's this amazing tech influencer. I've chatted with her a few times, Tiffany Jensen. So she actually works at a tech startup right now in Canada, and she is everywhere on social media. So Tiff in Tech, that's her name, and that's her username. And she posts a lot about her journey. So she is actually, I think she used to be a model. Oh, yeah, a model who then went into who went to university and got a taste of coding, and from there she was like, I want to do a coding bootcamp.
There's hope for us. Radio DJs who can code.
I was just going to say that's a bit unfair. She's already beautiful. Now her brains are beautiful as well. What's going on?
But yeah, Tiffany is definitely one of the people that I really look up to. Until now, she is a huger, she's a bigger influencer as I do. In Singapore, there are, I recently got connected with some other Malay Muslim women in tech. I think that there's the founder of Parrot Social. She's a hijabi woman, and I think Parrot Social is like a data analytics company.
Oh wow!
And yeah, I was like super inspired when I read about her in the news. And then Nurul Hussein, I think now,
earlier.
Yeah, Nurul Hussein, the founder of the Codec project. I've never heard of a community organization that is catered specifically for minority women who want to break into tech. So, and for me, and even outside of women in tech, I wouldn't have been here, sitting here talking with you guys without my mom, right? My mom, as strict as Asian parents are, at least for my parents, they really do want the best for me, right? Even though I've been a brat many times.
Get it all out on national radio.
But
Get it all out.
If my mom didn't drill into me to just try, just go for it, I wouldn't be here, honestly.
Hello, Auntie. You did good.
You're the best.
Yeah.
You're
Shout
the
out
best.
to Ain's mom. Well done.
You know what? And I think I can say for many people, at least for your 75,000 followers on TikTok, that you are an inspiration to them, just like those women are for you. Ain, thank you so much for coming here, sharing your journey. You really are a true inspiration. I think we're going to see plenty more from you in the very near future. We'll keep an eye. How can we find you online?
That
on
will be
social media?
Ain Loves Code on TikTok. TikTok is my most active platform, and it's my favorite platform. So Ain Loves Code on TikTok. So AIN Loves Code. Yes, I promise I do love code.
Thanks for joining us here.
Thank you,
Ain.
Ain.
Happy
Thank
Women's
you.
Day.
Good time. Greatest hits. 1FM.